Proof that God exists. Okay, so some people question the Bible or say that, oh, well, where's the proof, or what's the proof that God exists or the Bible exists or that that stuff's real and everything? Well, if you knew uh, even a little bit about the Bible, or if you knew some of the stories in the Bible, such as when Moses crossed over with all the people in the Red Sea, uh, and the Egyptians followed them, and then the sea closed, and then all the chariots or the Egyptians got wiped out. Well, there would be, chariots obviously at the bottom of underwater or at the bottom of a sea somewhere. There would be metal remains and so forth, bones or whatever. Um, and this is some pictures that have been taken of various chariot parts or wheels that were found uh, in the Gulf of Aqaba near the Red Sea. For those of you who don't know what the Gulf of Aqaba is, there is a gulf in between Egypt and Saudi Arabia. And if you look at the area, it's just kind of weird too how it's shaped, uh, the land and stuff. This is how it looks, and this is about 1,000 or 2,000 feet underwater, and then both to the left and to the right, it drops off at about 5,000 feet. So just the mapping of the area or the area itself is weird. But also, there's all these chariots that are here in the Gulf, the Gulf of Aqaba. Now, this is some pictures and stuff, and you could clearly see the place from space, the little beach area and stuff. And this is in Egypt, called a place called Nuweibaa. That's what the town is. It's a real small town. There's like a Egyptian fortress or ancient Egyptian military place nearby. And yeah, you could go there and go scuba diving and see all this stuff, see the chariot wheels and stuff. Now, you have to remember that this stuff has been there for thousands and thousands of years. So, I mean, obviously, this stuff has, corrosion or has been broken down. Some of the stuff, I mean, you got, the reef and stuff growing on it. So, some of these things aren't in, peak condition, obviously, thousands of years later, being underwater and so forth, the metal begins to corrode and whatnot. But also, uh, between Egypt and Saudi Arabia, in between these two, on each side of the beach, on the beaches and stuff, there's one of these pillars and stuff. And this is one of the only places in the world that you'll see this. And it's pretty cool. Uh, Obviously, this is one of the only places in the world that has, chariots or, metal stuff underwater. So that's pretty cool. Uh, Go to the next one here. And also, Noah's Ark was found some years back or some years ago. Noah's Ark that's in Turkey, on the mountain there. Not sure if I'm saying this right. Mount Ararat or Ararat, something like that. Noah's Ark in Turkey. This boat, this huge boat, was found. Also, this is from thousands and thousands of years ago, so obviously it's not, in top condition. And this boat was found. It's in the middle of basically, land in the middle of nowhere, just about. And it's really weird. It's very, kind of rare to see something like this. I mean, it's like finding a aircraft carrier, in the middle of a country or, very deep inland. It's just really weird. And yeah, Noah's Ark in Turkey. So there's more evidence or more proof, that God exists or that this stuff happened. Obviously, the Bible story of Noah's Ark and everything. I mean, if that happened, obviously there would be a huge boat, somewhere in the world, and it was found, or this has been found and stuff. And yeah, so somewhere in the world, Noah's Ark, you know, would be, but it's been thousands of years. This is thousands of years later. So I mean, obviously this stuff, I mean, the wood, the wood's not, what it used to be. And then also, obviously, you have God's house, or where God's temple was on the Temple Mount, where God had two houses. You could see the rectangle shape that this used to be. Obviously, the building, the original building that used to be here, was a little bit bigger. And yeah, basically, God had or owned or had two houses here on Earth, or here in the world. Um, and they were both here. God's house was both here. Both of them, God's two houses, were both here on the Temple Mount. And it's another weird story here in Jerusalem, or in Jerusalem, where this is. It's a really weird story because both of God's houses, or both temples, were destroyed on the same day. So it's another one of those weird things that you have out there. These are real places and stuff. And yeah, the Babylonians, if I remember correctly, Babylonians or the Assyrians. No, I think it was the Babylonians. They destroyed the first temple, and the Romans destroyed the second one. And yeah, these places, uh, the uh, the temple, the Temple Mount, Noah's Ark, and the Gulf of Aqaba chariots, or Moses' chariots and stuff, the Egyptian chariots. Thousands of people go to those places. Thousands of people have been there. Thousands of tourists. They're pretty big tourist attractions. Going to Nuweibaa, Egypt, or going to the place in Turkey. Many of those places have tours or tour guides, and thousands of people have seen those places or go to those places or have been there. And yes, there's pretty cool stuff. Some pretty cool places in the world. Many people go there. There's many web pages out there, many newspaper articles and so forth. And it was actually Ron Wyatt, a guy called Ron Wyatt, that found those things, or found these things. Uh, the Gulf of Aqaba chariots that are underwater, and Noah's Ark. So I think that was a pretty cool guy, and this was some pretty cool stuff.